Hey, we've gotten into the second hour of the show, and of course, in every second hour of the show, we have a featured artist, and we always like to bring them up and chat with them a little bit, give you a little sound of who they are, and what they sound like. And this day is no different. The Wall-to-Wall Country Show continues the tradition of having a great artist on board. And today we're very happy and honored to have a lovely lady named Amanda Watkins. She hails from the beautiful state of West Virginia. I've spent a lot of time down there. She was also raised in Florida, and now she's a country singing girl. Lots of great music she's got out there. We're going to talk about her latest single, who she's rubbed elbows with, and how you can catch her in just a few moments. But first, let's make welcome this lovely lady, Miss Amanda Watkins, to the show. Hi, Amanda.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, no problem. We are very excited to have another great talent on the show, as always. You know, you've got a nice background of some really fun things. You're an outdoor girl. You know, you're kind of like the all-around American package, and you sing country music too. So I like it. I like it a lot, but let's back up a little bit. I'm kind of getting ahead of myself here. I love your bio. I love everything that I've read about you. I love your music. I think you really got something going on there. But let's back up for some of the listeners here at PPR who may not know who you are, have heard any of your music. Can you give us a brief background of, you know, obviously where you came from, how country became part of such a big part of your life, and how you got to the driver's seat you're in today, Amanda?
Yeah, of course. So I was named after Waylon Jennings' song Amanda. My mom and dad loved Waylon Jennings, and they loved great music. So I grew up like listening. They still played the records and everything. So I had a great love for country music early on, and it just went from there. I just started singing, and I didn't want to stop. It's all I wanted to do, and like I said, I had amazing parents that just backed me, and it wasn't like, you have to do this, you have to do this, we want you to do this. It was, they saw my love of music, and they just helped it grow from lessons to, you know, learning everything about the music business and everything. So I've been singing since I was 5, started in church, and it's been a long journey. I, straight out of high school, came to Nashville, Tennessee, and did the whole checking it out and writing and really learning the ropes and everything, and wasn't sure it was for me. I think I was a little young, and I was like, wow, this is overwhelming. And so I went back home to Florida for a little bit, and was singing at some weddings and singing at some blues bars and just different things down there. And I ran into this family that really, really did have a great impression on me. They came to me and they said, you know, you could be a big fish in a little pond, or a small fish in a big pond. And it's cliche, but it's true. And they had some friends out in Los Angeles, and they said, you know, they're managers, they're looking to start like the music side of it, you want to check it out. So I'm like, you know, just over 20, I'm thinking, I don't know anybody in Los Angeles. I'm from Florida, originally from West Virginia, like Los Angeles, and but I did it. And looking back, I can't believe I did it. I went out there, I took some songwriting classes at UCLA, and just one thing led to another. I really missed my family, wanted to come home, and it was another person came into my life and said, you know, give it 6 months out here. Give it 6 months. Gave it 6 months, still want to go home. He said, give it another 6 months. You know, keep trying. Don't give up. Keep trying. I said, okay, you know, I'll do that. And they told me that it was a 5-year town. And I was like, 5-year town? What do you mean? It's like, well, it's 5 years to get anything started. So if you're going to come for a year and just go home, then you should have never come. And so I said, okay, well, here we go. And sure enough, 5 years, I met this girl, Casey Buckley. We started writing songs together. We started a band, and we started promoting our band and getting a bunch of people to come to show. We were pulling 200 to 400 people out in the Los Angeles crowd, which is not normal. And we got a record deal. We got signed 5 years after being in L.A., and I thought, wow, how crazy is that? And from there, we moved to Nashville and did the whole Nashville thing and radio tour and played as a band, and it was amazing. I got to meet so many people, write with people, and but after like 2 or 3 years of being here, we decided to split, and I decided to go split solo. Still friends with Casey, still everything, and that's where I am now, is rebuilding my career, and just released a single with Jamie Johnson, If I Was Over You.
Yeah, I mean, you've got some big hitters in your in your background of some things, like you said, co-writing honors on music, for Big and Rich and things along that line. And then you've actually opened for some big guns. You mentioned Jamie Johnson, but we're talking, Frankie Ballard and Dierks Bentley and, geez, Brad Paisley, for crying out loud. I mean, you want to talk about some big guns in the music industry, staying busy with festivals and writing music and things like that. Do you find that writing is more what you like to do, or is it the performing, Amanda?
It's performing. Like I like writing because I always feel like I have something to say. Of course, it's like I want to I have something to say, and this is how I'm going to say it, and you have to listen to me because I have a microphone. No. I like the.
I love it. I love it.
But the performing is by far my favorite part. I mean, I went to a lot of concerts growing up. I think my parents took us to see the Monkees, like when I don't even remember. I barely even, I don't even know if I remember it. I just know that was my first concert.
Uh-huh.
And they took us all the time to concerts. And I just remember if I was in a bad mood, if I was in a good mood, or no matter what my day held or week, if I went to a concert and saw a show, for the most part, I left feeling just alive and amazing. And I remember thinking, that's what I want to do.
Uh-huh.
I want anybody that comes to my show, if they're having a terrible day or a terrible week or terrible month, I want them to come. I want them to be able to forget everything and whatever it is that they're worrying about and just leave here feeling radiant and just feeling full of joy and happiness. And I don't know, I think that's what started it. It was just the feeling I got from the amazing people that I got to go see, that I just wanted to do the same and be like, I want to be like that.
Yeah.
So.
You want that feeling of maybe being a little rejuvenated and maybe your music speaks to some people too, and it's like, oh wow, maybe I was feeling a little alone, but she just told my story, and you look around and there's other people kind of nodding their head, and it's like a feeling of maybe not being alone, not realizing that you're not the only person maybe going through a crappy day or whatever, and that's what music's all about.
Yep. That's exactly right. You hit the nail on the head of just being, I can relate to that. And I'm not the only one. Okay.
Right.
So.
Right. And you have some pretty inspirational songs, and we're going to talk about those in just a minute. On that same line where, you're getting a message out. It's not just, I'm just writing a song for the sake of writing a song. I mean, there's those fun songs out there, the sitting on the back of a pickup, party songs, and they have their place.
They do.
They definitely have their place of just putting a smile on someone's face or whatever. But then you also have, the songs that are the ones that you're literally trying to get a message across, and you're trying to make a statement, and you're trying to get people to really listen to the words and understand where it's coming from. And you've got a couple of those, and we're going to get to those in just a minute. So I preface it that with, the listening audience needs to stay put for a little bit, because we've got some good music that, the little bit that I know about them are those kinds of songs that, you kind of look back and you reminisce and you think about it and you go, okay, you weren't alone in this whatever,
Yes.
Mm-hmm. But let's jump back to some of the artists that you've had the honor of doing some work with and performing with and things like that. And Jamie Johnson jumps off the page. How did that relationship form? And it ended up with your current single. Tell the story about that. Where did he come from, and how did that happen? Because that's got to be a pinch me moment, right?
It really was. It was. I first actually met him. It was when we were in LA, and we got the opportunity to write with him, and that was the first time that I had met him. And I was like, okay, let's see how this goes. And we wrote a song, and it's one that's going to be on the album too. It's called The Bible. And then all of his musicians were my musicians that was in the band. So this is all LA people that not obviously not many people are from LA, but they were out there making music. So my musicians, Brian Allen, Jason Cope, and Powell, we call him Powell, his name's Chris Powell, they were all playing with us. And Jamie came to town and made his album and pretty much took our whole band. We're like, oh my gosh, that's our band. There they go. They're going on tour. Which, so excited for him, bummed for us. But that's kind of how the relationship and just the rubbing elbows as everybody kind of knowing each other started. And because of that, when we came to Nashville, and I came to Nashville, Jamie, it's like, well, you know, I got to open a couple shows for him. And he knew all my Miss Lily Brown stuff that I did, and he never really talked much about it or said anything. And I'd opened a couple shows before, and he never said anything. He was just happy to have me. He's like, you know, great. And then I came out with a new song, and I started singing the song, If I Was Over You. I wrote it as a solo song. And he's like, that song's amazing. That's a great song. And he started coming out during the show and singing harmony with me on the chorus. And I was blown away by him even liking the song, because I think he's one of the greatest songwriters of all time. And for him to say he liked it and was going to sing with me on stage, I was just blown away from that only. And I was like, what? I don't know if I want to sing with you.
What?
So then, because his voice is so strong and big, I'm like, I don't know.
But I'll do it anyway. Just twist my arm a little.
Yeah, but I'll do it anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
So we did it, and then I got ready to make my album, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to take a chance. I'm going to ask him. I'm going to step out on a limb here, and I'm going to ask him if he wants to sing this with me on my album. I'm going into RCA Studio A, and I'm doing this. And so I called him up, and I asked him, and he said, well, I'm trying to get out of this publishing deal, and I'm trying to do this. Let me see what I can do. And I thought, he hung up the phone, and I thought, oh my gosh, I feel kind of like silly asking, because you never want to be that person, you know, that's
right.
Somebody that's already having you opening, and you're like, oh my gosh, I just asked him that.
Invite yourself over for coffee, you know.
It's exactly the feeling. It's like, listen, can I come over and can you make me dinner?
Yeah.
Great. You buy the groceries too. It'll be awesome.
You're a hoot.
Oh, thanks. But but anyways, I did, and a month later, he texted me I remember it clearly because it was a Monday night, and I hadn't heard from him since I asked him. It was January, so there was no shows going on, and I hadn't heard from him. It was maybe 10:30 at night or something, and he says, what are you doing? And I'm thinking, well, it's Monday night at 10:30, and it's freezing cold outside. I'm doing nothing. And he says, well, come to the studio. TW and I have something that we want to show you. And I knew exactly what it was. I never left the house so quick and got there so quick. And I showed up. He had sang on If I Was Over You. And not only did he sing on the choruses, he actually took the second verse out, and he put his whole vocal in there. And it was a complete surprise to me. I had no clue that was going to happen.
Nice.
So I was blown away. Yeah.
Nice. And then that is the one that you have out now as your single off your current album.
Yes, that's If I Was Over You is out now, and it's going to be the single off the current album coming up. And yeah, I'm really excited about it. It's one of those songs that just kind of, I mean, I know where it came from, but it really came out of nowhere. Yeah. So.
Amanda, now you said it's coming up, so the album's not out yet. This is the single. When is the album due to be released?
Looking for early summer.
Okay. Do you have a name for the album yet?
You know, I think that I'm going to call it...
Amanda? I think we just lost her. That's interesting because she was just about to tell us the name of the album, and I believe I lost her. Let me just see. Amanda, are you there?
Oh.
Are you? Oh, you are there?
Okay. Sorry. I don't know what happened.
That was weird because just as you were about to say the name of the album, you disappeared. And I'm like, what? She's not going to tell me? She's just going to let me hanging like that?
She's like, oh.
So I didn't catch that, dear. Would you like to say that again?
Yes. So the name of the album is, I think I'm going to call it We Go On.
We Gone?
We Go On, yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, I think just it's been like that, you know, it's one of the songs that I wrote is We Go On, but it's been a part of, I think just in life, just not stopping and not giving up, and just through anything you keep going. And in my music career, just I'm sure as any's is, you know, you always hear the people that all the success, but you don't know what's going on behind the scenes, and the biggest part is that you keep going. And
Right.
when I think about the songs on my album, when I think about the time from moving to Nashville the first time, out to LA, out to whatever, like no matter what bump was in the road, it's just we go on.
Yep.
You know.
Yep. The show must go on, as they say. You know what I'm saying? Nice.
It must.
Well, whether that is going to actually be the title of the album or not, we'll look forward. We'll look forward that in early summer, and it gives your fans something to look forward to and kind of keep an eye out for. But Amanda, if you can hang in there for just a few minutes, I got to take a quick break. But I'd like to come back with that song "If I Was Over You" featuring Jamie Johnson on it, and then we can chat a little bit more about some of the music, and then how people can get their hands on the single and the album, and where you are as far as your social media and stuff like that. Can you hang in there for a few minutes more, Amanda?
Yes, no problem at all.
All right. We're going to be back with more Amanda Watkins, lovely lady, doing her thing out there. She's got some great music, very inspirational tunes. We're going to hear one of those coming up in just a minute as well. But first, an amazing story with Jamie Johnson playing his part on this album and this song as a surprise to her. It's a little something called "If I Was Over You" with Amanda Watkins and Jamie Johnson coming up right after the break, right here on Wall to Wall Country. Don't go anywhere. Wow. That's all I can say about that. Wow. Nice.
Thank you.
Wow. You guys sound awesome together. You guys should do that more often.
Thank you. I would love it. Thank you.
Now you can text him back and go, "Dude, that was so popular. We need to do it again." So
We need to do it again on one of your songs this time.
yeah. No, you guys, you hit that one out of the park. Absolutely. I mean, I really, really enjoy it, and the harmonies with you two, and the timing, and how you guys do it. I mean, it just brings a picture to mind, of two lovers, kind of there but not really there. You know what I mean? Like fading in the background.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yep. Thank you.
The next thing you got to do is you got to talk him into doing a video.
I know. It's so funny. Like I shot a video for this song, and you can find it on YouTube. You can see it, and it's with the director is absolutely amazing who did it. His name's T.K. McCaney. He actually just won a CMT and CMA award for Video of the Year, and on Maddie and Tay's video. But so that song, and this never happens to me, it was an accident, but I sang it in one take.
Nice.
And that, like, any more like that, it just doesn't happen, especially for me. I think Willie Nelson does it, but but the video, John Lachey and T.K. McCaney had an idea to shoot the whole thing kind of like the Sinead O'Connor video where it's just her face,
mm-hmm.
but instead of it cutting away to different scenes, it's just one shot. It's just one shot of me singing and performing like one time through. So there was no room for error or anything. It's just one shot. So if you have time, check that out on YouTube. It's a little different, but I'm very proud of it because it took a lot of acting skills that I do not have. But it worked, so it's okay.
Well, I think no matter whether it's just you or you and Jamie, but I got to tell you, man, that's an out of the park. That's an out of the park hit right there, and I think that one is going to help you along your way quite well. Now let's talk a little bit about "We Go On." Now that's another song you're talking about, that being the potential name of your album that we're hoping to see in early summer from you, Amanda.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that would be a good song to feature next. But this one has a very special story, and you kind of touched on it a little bit, but there's a little bit more in-depth story about this one. You want to share that a little bit with our listening audience?
Yeah, I'd love to.
Now, don't make me cry.
Now, I won't.
Don't make me cry now.
I would never. This is a pick you up when you're feeling like crying, because you don't have to.
All right, good.
So earlier I was talking to you about my band, Miss Lily Brown, that I was in, and getting signed and getting a record deal, and really just moving. Almost felt like a train. It was just going, and it was unstoppable. And it was with my best friend Casey, and we had just played the Grand Ole Opry. And then a couple months later, we got to play the Ryman. And that was like November, I think. And then we decided to split, and the band broke up in January, like 1 January. So it was like that quick. It was like you're playing the Ryman, and then all of a sudden we're realizing in December that this band might not go on. And I remember when we decided to break, not only was I like, oh my gosh, this is my best friend that I've seen every single day for the last 6 to 7 years of my life, but, you know, what am I going to do? Like, am I going to keep going? Am I going to, you know, I thought this is what I was supposed to do, and I'm looking at, like, I'd have to rebuild my whole career, and is this the decision I'm going to make? And I just remember feeling like, I thought this was what God wanted me to do. Like, this is my plan. I was walking on the path, and now, like, what is going on? And, you know, it's like that thing when you have an idea of what your life is going to look like in your head, and then all of a sudden it's like, no, this is actually the picture, and you get shaken up.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember for a little bit, you know, literally laying on the couch and just feeling like I have no clue what I'm going to do, and I'm, you know, you tell yourself all these negative things. I'm not good enough. I'm, you know, I'm this, I'm that. I'm too old. I'm too young. I'm too whatever it is that you tell yourself because you feel defeated. And not long after that happened, the Boston bombings happened.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, wow, put some stuff into perspective. First of all, of what really matters and what doesn't. And then after the Boston bombings happened, a wave of tornadoes swept through Middle America.
Right.
And I watched America pick up, regardless of race, regardless of political views, regardless of anything that may divide us. And they decided to pick up and find the people that did these bombings and come together and go on. And they didn't lay down and say, well, we're just going to take whatever comes to us. And the same thing with the tornadoes. These people lost houses, they lost their homes, they lost family members, they lost everything. And people from different states and people from different, like, cities across the USA came, and they helped rebuild these homes, regardless of what they were going through at the time, regardless of their beliefs, regardless of their everything,
right.
all of it. And
right.
I watched all these people come together, pick up and go on, and I think I'm sitting here on my couch crying about if I'm going to keep singing or not.
Right.
Are you kidding me? You know?
Right.
So then I realized, I'm like, oh my gosh, like, we go on. That's what we do. Because when you stop and you sit there and you start whining around about everything that you have bad, all that keeps coming back is bad stuff.
Right.
So I was fully inspired by, you know, I love our country. I think that, you know, freedom is not free, and I think that we have, you know, we can sit and do and talk about the negatives, but watching everybody come together and fight together and win together and pick up and help each other. I was so inspired to write the song We Go On from a personal instance of, you know, missing my band and what my next step was, but also, too, just like I said, watching America. It's like we go on through the heart of the storm. We march on.
Right.
From the day we are born until our souls are good and worn, we go on.
Right.
And that's where the song came from. And it's a long story, and I'm sorry.
Don't be sorry. It's okay. You know, but, you know, it's one of those things, you know, like we were kind of touched on this a little bit about, you know, you really got to put things in perspective, and you really got to go, you know, you can sit there and wallow in your own sorrow, or you can just pick up yourself from your bootstraps, shake it off, and keep going, because somebody out there has it worse than you do. Pretty much no matter what.
That's exactly
There's
right.
somebody out there suffering, somebody out there sadder, somebody out there with a greater loss, somebody out there. And, you know, those stories that come through, the ones that are those inspirational stories of people getting together and packing up a pickup truck and saying, look, I don't have much, but I'm going to go down there,
yep.
and I'm going to do what I can, you know. And
that's right.
And that's
Mm-hmm.
you know, you're right. That's no matter what happens, I think America's got that going for it. It's people. There are still people out there, you know, good, bad, or indifferent. There are still people out there who are willing to do the right thing and help things get going again and get back on track.
That's right.
So I want people really to listen to the words to this song, because you wrote this from the heart. You wrote this from experience. You wrote this from being inspired. And we'll talk about the impact on your fans coming up right after we listen to this. If you can hold on for just a few more minutes, I want people to hear this song. So can you hang in there again yet one more time, Amanda?
Oh, for sure, for sure.
Awesome. We're going to be back with more Amanda Watkins Just an awesome, wonderful song. Right after we take the bottom of the hour ID, it's a little something called "We Go On." Now, I want you guys to turn it up a little bit, pay attention to the words, and if you're one of those people who are sitting there feeling sorry for yourself, well, you should be ashamed of yourself on top of it, because there are people, right? There are people out there who, you know what, would kick you in the butt and go, you know what, get off your sorry butt, let's go get something done. Right, Amanda?
Yep, that's right.
All right, well, we're going to get that song coming up in just a minute. A little something from Miss Amanda Watkins. It's a little something called "We Go On" coming up right next, right here on PPR and Wall to Wall Country. Nice. I like it. I like it a lot. I got to say, I'm sitting here, bouncing around. You know what? I got to say, let me say this. There are stories out there that are inspirational, and they're kind of slow, and, you kind of get through it. But that one does a couple things for me, and this is just my opinion. You're right. It picks you up a little bit. It's easy to follow. It's easy to join right in, once you heard a line or two. And I can just envision, and sometimes I like to do this, to try to figure out where the audience would be if you came out on stage and you did this tune. I could see the entire crowd up, maybe got a couple of beers in their hand, maybe they're flying an American flag, but they're up, they're dancing, they're singing along. Am I right? Is that the kind of impact that you're finding with this song?
Definitely. I definitely feel like that's a thing, and we go on and just the singing along and like you said, just picking it up. And really what I look forward and hope for is that anybody that's in that moment of wondering what they're going to do with their life or feeling lost, because I think even the best of us that have an idea of what we're doing in life can get lost sometimes.
Sure.
And I just say, just what I did is I literally prayed a ton for the Lord to just show me the way, and all I did was put one foot in front of the other. So I just want people to feel when they hear that song, is just to be like, I don't even have to worry. I just have to put one foot in front of the other, and my path is going to show up.
Yeah.
So.
Well, you got the great voice that goes along with it. I mean, you've got some powerful. You got a powerful tool there, and the band or whoever is cutting that with you. I mean, they've got it. They've got it going on. It's a great toe tapper. Like I said, it's easy to follow. People are going to fall in love with that one. And I mean, that's something you're just driving down the road and you're tapping your steering wheel, and just having a grand old time with that one. I really do like it, and I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just saying thank you. It means a lot.
Yeah. I mean, I hear a lot of music, and that's definitely one for the books. And I'm looking forward to you guys getting together that album and getting it out there. And if I can be so bold, like, I would say if you get them, and are you doing hard copies with these, Amanda?
You know what? I think that I am going to. I'll probably, I'm going to do digital first, and then I'll do like a hard copy with eventually a vinyl press would be kind of cool too.
Sure. Well, if you ever get that CD hard copy press out there, feel free to keep me in the loop and send me a couple, and we'll give them away here at the station. I think people would really gobble some of these songs up. I think they'd really like them, help spread your music around up here in PA. I mean, my listening audience is from all over the place.
Well, I would love it. My favorite place that we did opened for Dierks Bentley a few years ago, and my favorite stop that we made was in Pennsylvania. It was the best. We did 2 days in Pennsylvania, and both of them were the best crowds and the nicest and kindest people, and I cannot wait to come back. So I would love to come back.
Well, if you're ever here, my friend, the doors for Penn Speak Radio are always open. We'd love to have you in the studio here live. I shoot that out to all my artists, so if you're ever traveling and you're on the eastern side of the state, we're kind of stuck between Philly and Scranton. We're right there in the middle. And we got,
okay. I know exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, Lee Heighton, Jim Thorpe area, just outside of Allentown, kind of, sort of. But we have a beautiful view up here. We're on top of a mountain, got a beautiful place, and we'd love to have you swing by if you ever have the opportunity, Amanda. That's for sure.
Yes, I would love it.
Awesome. Well, let me do this. How do people find you? Are you a social media girl? If people want to get their hands on your music, how do they find you? You have the one single out right now, but if they're liking some of this other stuff, what's the best way to find you, get in touch, and get their hands on your music?
Yeah, so You can, I really enjoy doing Facebook of all of them. So you can find me on Facebook. It's I am, and then Amanda Watkins.
Okay.
You can find me there, and that'll have all my updates of shows coming up and any music coming out or anything. I also do Twitter and Instagram. Amanda Watkins Music on Instagram. I'm Amanda Watkins on Twitter. And then you can also go to my website, amandawatkins.com, but the Facebook and Twitter and all those are updated more. And then if you would love to buy my single, If I Was Over You with Jamie Johnson, you can get it on iTunes. Just search Amanda Watkins and it'll pop right up.
Okay. All right, so that's a great way that they can do it. And they can find out when your album, whether you call it We Go On or not, is going to come out early summer. If they're friends with you on Facebook, you'll be getting that information out there for your fans.
Yeah, and I'll probably release We Go On to iTunes earlier and sooner than the full album release. But I will get it out and make it available to everyone sooner than later.
Okay. All right, well, that's a good way. And so I'm assuming that you're kind of the person who helps kind of manage your social medias. Are you the person, if people do bop in there and say, hey, I'm interested in your music or whatever, is it you that is the
Yeah.
person who answers?
Yes, I do all of mine. I think that if you're going to do it, then unless you're just updating stuff, then you should do it yourself. So I definitely do all my own.
Cool. Awesome. Well, that's good to know. I know you and I are friends on Facebook, so we'll have to keep the message, keep the link going, because that way also you can let me know what's going on. You can message me anytime. And also, if you do hard copies, like I said, throw a couple of them my way, and I know my listening audience would be glad to get their hands on some of this music that we're featuring today, and get your name out there even that much more. Amanda, I mean, other than your album, do you got a wink, wink, nudge, nudge of something new you got going on coming up this summer that your fans and stuff can also look for, other than this new album?
Yes, I'm playing a few shows. Probably a lot of shows actually. Summer is a big time for touring for me. A couple of my things I'm really excited about playing is We Fest. So if you're in Minnesota or in the North Dakota area, come out to We Fest. Kid Rock will be playing. I think. Who else is Eric Church on that?
Eric
I'm
Church.
Not sure. There's another one, and then
Tim McGraw.
And then
yeah,
there's a bunch of different. There's like one of those big festivals, and then there's Country on the River, and it's the same thing with a lot of the same artists, and that's all in August. So that'll be in Wisconsin. I'll also be playing up in Hunter Mountain, New York, in June. You want to come? If anybody's up in New York, come out and see me at the Taste of Country Festival.
Okay.
And then I'll be hitting some cities in and around all through there. So yeah, definitely check out my tour schedule on my website or Facebook and bands in town. And if you're in the area, come see me. I'd love to meet you. I always come out to the merch booth and meet people when I'm finished. So
nice, and that's good to know. And like I said, New York, Pennsylvania, right next door to each other.
Exactly. Hello.
Hello, girlfriend. I think I have a new BFF.
We need to go to lunch.
That's right, we do. But awesome. I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing you progress and seeing you getting out there on your own. And I think you definitely have something going on. This show gets completely recorded and re-airs on a Sunday morning, and it kicks off at 8 a.m. Eastern Time with the interview in the second hour. And I like to close out the show to remind everybody that if they're coming in late to the show, they missed the interview, they missed some of your music, I feature another song from the artist that I had that day, and we were talking about a song that you call Fighting for You. Do you want to give us a little background on that one there, and people can look forward to listening to it in a couple hours?
Yeah, it's a song that was written about our loved ones that stay at home while maybe your husband or your wife is out fighting in the Army or our military, and it was just inspired by really thinking about the sacrifice of the families in our military and touching on the ones that stay at home, because I don't think that we really think about that sacrifice as much as you do as the ones that are out, that are maybe in Afghanistan or overseas or something like that. But at the same time, their families are home raising a family and doing things. So it's like I said, it's about those that stay at home and that we're fighting for you too. So I hope thank you to anybody out there listening for your service if you are a military family. my gratitude, thanks, and I go out to you and for me being able to do what I love to do because of what you've done for our country. So thank you.
Nice, and that's awesome. So we're going to have Fighting for You coming up at the end of the show. One last thing before I let you go. I know I've kept you on here for a bit, but, your music and your story are very, very interesting. Is there anything, Amanda, that you feel is a drawn to your heart kind of cause for Amanda Watkins? If somebody said, hey, we're going to be doing this for this particular charity, which one of those usually comes to mind as something that it really tugs on the heartstrings for you?
I would say there's so many. It's so hard. My heart is really drawn to military just because I think that a lot of everything that we do, I love the USO. I love what the USO does. There's so many out there. So anything that you can do to give, do to help, and that is also to a legit charity.
Right.
Really do your research on it before.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love Operation Gratitude. It's out based in California. They send packages out to the soldiers, and they're amazing. They're absolutely amazing. So
awesome.
Yeah.
Well, Amanda, it's been a pleasure and an honor chatting with you. I wish you all the best of luck, and keep us in mind when you have something new and exciting going on. A lot of my artists make second and third appearances on my show. We'd love to get you back on at some point when you have some big news or you got something new and exciting going on. And, of course, like I mentioned before, the doors to Penn Speak Radio are always open. We'd love to have you here.
That's great. Thank you so much for having me, and thank you for having me on your show. And definitely, I would love to come back on anytime. And if I'm in that area, I will come visit.
That sounds like a plan, Miss Girl. Hey, listen, new BFF, man. Double thumbs up, girlfriend.
That's right.
We'll chat soon, even if it's through Facebook.
That sounds great.
We'll have to stay in touch, girl. But good luck with everything. Keep smiling. Keep the positive attitude going. I think you've got something going on for yourself there, and just keep spreading the word, dear.
Well, thank you so much, and thank you for the opportunity.
All right. Take care, girl.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye.